Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at some really fun battles in the Great League featuring the Triple Dancing Theme Team. This team features dancing Pokemon, so on the lead we have Mr. Rhyme, our safe switch is Ludicolo, and our closer is Blossom. This is definitely not a team I'd recommend for a Final Legend push, but I had a ton of fun with it. Definitely lost more games than I won, but the wins that I did manage were absolutely glorious. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at the Triple Dancing Theme Team in action. Hopping into the first match, leading Mr. Rhyme into Alolan Ninetales. I'm going to stay in to check the fast move. It's Charm, so I do need to save switch, and now we're going to bring in Ludicolo. Ludicolo does have access to Leaf Storm, but that does debuff our attack by 2 stages, so I am actually going to bait with the Ice Beam, and we're successfully able to get the shield. Ludicolo does have a very interesting typing, being a water and grass type, so we do only take neutral from the ice type Weather Ball, but the Weather Ball combined with the charms, I would not have made it to the second Leaf Storm. We're able to get the second shield, which is very nice, and now we will bring in Blossom. Blossom does need to shield. Blossom does have some decent bulk to it, but I definitely don't want to be taking super effective charge moves. We'll overfarm by a Bullet Seed, and we're going for the Leaf Blade. Now, Leaf Blade should take them out. It all depends what they have in back, and they have Kofagrigus in the back. So things are definitely not looking good for me here. As Kofagrigus does have a lot of play against my team, it's very bulky. They should have just received the energy for the Shadow Ball, so I'm going to throw the Leaf Blade, wait a second, and then switch, and we're able to catch on to Mr. Rhyme. I am expecting and hoping that Blossom should have a lot of play in the endgame, and it's a Diggersby in the back. So Blossom should have a lot of play against Diggersby. We're able to go for the Icy Wind. Icy Wind lands, does a solid chunk of damage. And the Icy Winds plus the Ice Shards are really starting to add up. Fire Punch comes through, we bring back in Blossom, and here a Fire Punch will not take us out because Icy Wind has lowered the Diggersby's attack. I'm going to overfarm just by 1 Bullet Seed. I'm a little leery of overfarming anymore in case they reach another Fire Punch, and now we just have to survive 3 Shadow Claws, which we are barely able to do. Blossom on very low health gets to the last Leaf Blade, taking out Kofagrigus, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match and picking up a terrible lead, Mr. Rhyme into Obstagoon. I will farm up to get ahead on energy with Mr. Rhyme, and now I save switch into the Ludicolo. Obstagoon will dump some energy, throw the Night Slash, and now they bring in a Medicham. So interesting, the opponent is employing a double counter strategy so far. We are not baiting, going straight for the Leaf Storm, and it lands. We are debuffed and pretty low health, so I don't really see this as being worth shielding. The opponent actually goes for a power-up punch bait, which is huge for us, and that ends up being a big mistake as we're able to reach another Leaf Storm. Leaf Storm comes through, we force the shield, oh, and it's a CMP tie. That is so good for us. As the opponent wastes all of that energy, we can bring back in Mr. Rhyme, and this Medicham will only reach a power-up punch. Even though it's boosted, we can let that go. We're able to farm down. We're very low health, but we lead with an Icy Wind, which will help with debuffing the Obstagoon, and then we're going to switch into Blossom. We debuff the Obstagoon, simultaneous switch, and the opponent has Azu in the back. So things are looking incredible for us here. Able to bait out the Medicham, and now Blossom has a commanding matchup in the back. Blossom wins this all even shields, so with a shield advantage, this should be a very comfortable win. What we're going to do is overfarm rather significantly. We are going to double shield because the charge moves from Azumarill are going to be doing a lot more than a potential Night Slash from Obstagoon. We farm all the way up to 100 energy, and we're going for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade KOs. We throw 1 more Bullet Seed to get to the back-to-back Leaf Blades, as Obstagoon is in Leaf Blade range. First one gets the shield, and second one is the kill shot. So Blossom able to take them out. The Triple Dancing Theme Team dances on, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, a pretty tough lead, Mr. Rhyme into Galarian Stunfisk. We are going to instantly save switch into Ludicolo, and we bait out a Dedenne. Dedenne is a pretty cool pick. It has a very interesting typing. It gets walled by a lot in the meta, but as you can see, it is very frail. Leaf Storm almost one-shotting. They fire back with a discharge, but since Ludicolo has a pretty unique typing as well, being a water grass, we only take neutral, so we can safely tank that. And honestly, we tank the Rock Slide as well, and we'll be able to fire off another Leaf Storm. Now this is debuffed, but will still hurt, and we're able to force a shield. So not only do we have switch, we have shields. The opponent tries to mud shot down a grass type. That does not end up being a good decision. We reach another Leaf Storm and even 4 stages debuffed. That still does a nice amount of damage. And now, since we've won switch advantage, we are going to bring in Blossom. And Blossom should function pretty well here. We are going to be going for the Leaf Blade. This will not KO, but it will be getting it very low, so we may see a switch coming up here shortly. They're throwing again, so whatever's in back might be weak to Blossom. I'm going to shield it up. We'll have to see what it is, and it's an Azumarill. You absolutely love to see it. And with a slight energy lead, we are going to absolutely be able to destroy this poor Azumarill. We are in a range where Ice Beam would take me out. So I am going to shield that up, and from here we can very safely overfarm to 2. The opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Alright, hopping to the next one. We have Mr. Rhyme into another Galarian Stunfisk. We're going to save switch into Ludicolo, and we bait out Altaria. Now, Altaria does take double super effective damage from the Ice Beam, so we can hopefully force some shields. Ice Beam comes through, and we're able to force the shield. Now, shield advantage here is pretty nice, and considering Mr. Rhyme does have Ice Shard as the fast move, it also learns Confusion, but for this particular team, with 2 grass types in back, I needed a stronger answer to Flyers, so that's why I ended up choosing to run Ice Shard. So we're going to shield this up, and now we're going to farm all the way down. Mr. Rhyme now leaves with a ton of energy, so we will be able to debuff the G-Fisk if it comes back in. G-Fisk comes back in and has to eat the Icy Wind. We debuff it, and now we bring in Blossom, and the opponent is not switching out, so hopefully that means they're weak to us in the back. We're going for the Leaf Blade. They were just building up energy, and now they bring in Sableye, and I have a very tough end game ahead of me. We do shield with the foul play. The question is, do I go for the double Leaf Blade or do I go for the kill shot? I'm thinking my win con is the kill shot. Going for the Dazzling Gleam, and it's shielded. That is absolutely terrible, and it is now looking that I should have gone for the triple Leaf Blade as I would have been able to reach it. So a pretty big miscalculation by me. So this game definitely felt winnable, but unfortunately, I went for glory. I went for the one shot. It was shielded, and now since Galarian Stunfisk farmed up quite a bit before switching out, they will be able to outpace both the Mr. Rhyme and the Blossom. So, bit of a miscalculation there. I definitely felt like that was a winnable game, but just a misplay by me, going for the Dazzling Gleam, ended up costing me. Alright, hopping into the next match. We have Mr. Rhyme into Dugong. This is a pretty interesting lead, as Dugong, with its typical moves that it'll be throwing, Ice Shard, Icy Wind, same as us, they are going to be doing resisted damage, and so will we. So my thought is, I'm going to use this time to farm up a ton of energy. I'm actually not going to throw anything or shield. I'm going to let them hit me with 2 Icy Winds, and then I'm going to save switch into Ludicolo, and I can save all that energy, and I'll be able to reset my debuffs for later. We're farming up here, and the opponent switches out, and they have a Medicham in the back, and I am going to bluff here. I'm going for the Ice Beam bait, and we're threatening the Leaf Storm, but they call it. A very nice call by my opponent. Here, I'm not sure if it's worth shielding. I let it go, and they Power Up Punch again, so we're seeing a lot of Power Up Punch Medichams today, and honestly, please keep baiting me. Leaf Storm lands, and we win switch advantage. Dugong comes back in, and Dugong will be able to throw the Icy Wind. Icy Wind comes through and just about takes us out. Now, the nice thing here is we have a ton of energy loaded on Mr. Rhyme. So we are going to be going for the Psychic. Psychic will be doing a decent chunk of damage onto the Dugong. Unfortunately, I just don't make the second Psychic, but I have to shield. I have to be able to reset my debuff in the end game. And the opponent makes a very nice switch. They're able to catch onto Azumarill. Now, this is a little tough, as unfortunately we are down shields to Azumarill, but here's where Blossom can be clutch in a pretty big way. Blossom, from full health, has the ability to tank an Ice Beam from Azumarill, so even though we only have 1 shield and that shield is gone, and Azumarill will be able to reach another charge move, despite the fact that we're taking super effective damage, we actually will be able to tank this, which is pretty nice, and we sneak the Bullet Seed through. Ice Beam comes through, Blossom holding on, they bring in the Dugong, they try and snipe, but we're able to farm up to the back-to-back Leaf Blades. First Leaf Blade will take out the Dugong, second Leaf Blade will land on the Azu. This will be very close, it may not KO. Leaf Blade comes through, it just doesn't. We're trying to Bullet Seed down, and Blossom on 1 HP farms down the Azumarill, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, we have Mr. Rhyme into Pelipper. This is a bit of a tricky Pokemon for my team, as of course Wing Attack will do super effective damage to my back two Pokemon, so I'm going to shield up and try and debuff them, but they actually save switch into Galarian Stunfisk, and this immediately has me worried that it could be Pelipper Double Steel with Bastiodon in the back. If so, this is going to be a very tough game. Fortunately, since we were able to debuff the Galarian Stunfisk, Rock Slides will do next to nothing, and we should be able to overfarm, all the while these bubbles are doing super effective damage and chunking through the health of the G-Fisk. I will overfarm here, and now we're going for the Ice Beam. It should just about be an Ice Beam range. I don't want to debuff my attack just yet, because hopefully I can threaten a shield off the Pelipper. Pelipper comes back in. We're going for the Ice Beam, so again, we're threatening a potential Leaf Storm. Ice Beam gets the shield, and now we're actually going to aggressively switch into Mr. Rhyme. My reasoning here is hopefully I will be able to farm up, and then when they switch out, I'll be able to debuff the Bastiodon, which they do. They switch in the Bastiodon, and we're able to Icy Wind the Bastiodon, and this will be very big, as being able to Icy Wind the Bastiodon means these smackdowns will do a lot less, and maybe if we have to eat a Flamethrower, hopefully we'll be able to survive it. First Flamethrower, we are going to shield up. Our switch clock is starting to come up, so after throwing a couple Leaf Blades, we could also look to sack on the Ludicolo. Farming up here, going for another Leaf Blade, and unfortunately they do get a move through. They're now very close. I'm going to throw one more, swap, and we catch onto the Ludicolo. That is absolutely huge. Flamethrower comes through, Bastiodon charges very slowly, Pelipper comes back, but Pelipper has a move. Pelipper, it's just the Weather Ball, we do survive it, and now we're going for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade should be taking out Pelipper from this range, which it does, and now we have a tall task ahead of us as Bastiodon comes back in. These smackdowns are no longer debuffed, and we're going to need to get to 3 Leaf Blades. We're able to get to the first, little bit of lag, but the opponent does catch back up. We're going for the second, and now we just have to survive this smackdown, get to the third. Blossom gets to the 3rd Leaf Blade. And despite going up against a double tank team, the triple dancing theme team gets the job done. All right, hopping to the next match. Pretty nice lead, Mr. Rhyme into Diggersby. They save switch into Wigglytuff, and anytime there's a Charmer save switch, I'm immediately worried it's double charm. We'll try and debuff them. We actually get the shield. And since we got the shield, I'm going to bring in Ludicolo, and we're going for the kill shot. I don't think they'll want to go down 2 shields this early. Going for the Leaf Storm. Leaf Storm lands, and it takes out the Wigglytuff. That is huge. Now we'll have to see what they bring in, and it is double charm. They bring in Whimsicott. Fortunately, we will be able to reach an Ice Beam. Ice Beam will hit them for super effective damage. Whimsicott is pretty glassy, so they do commit the shield even though we're debuffed. We are going to bring back in Mr. Rhyme. They throw a move, we'll shield this up, and now we want to try and get to the Icy Wind. They switch into Diggersby, we save the Icy Wind for later, and now we're going to bring in Blossom. We could not throw the Icy Wind on the Diggersby because we need a way to take out Whimsicott in the endgame, and now we should have that win con. We can safely tank 2 Fire Punches, not too worried about that. And unfortunately, they do get to the second one before we're able to take them out. That's fine. We will save the shield for Mr. Rhyme. Mr. Rhyme won't need it, but better to have it. We are going to be going for the Leaf Blade. They're going to bring back in the Whimsicott. Whimsicott charms down, but unfortunately for the Whimsicott, Mr. Rhyme has the Icy Wind loaded. Icy Wind taking out the Whimsicott, and the triple dancing theme team dispatching with double charm. Hopping into the next match, we have another Pelipper lead. Pelipper, of course, will outpace here, even if they overfarm. Ice Shard Icy Wind is a pretty nice combo, but unfortunately not the fastest combo by any means. We are going to be going for the Icy Wind to lower that attack, and we'll hit for some solid neutral damage. We get the shield, they bring in Wigglytuff. Oh, please tell me it's not double charm again. We are going to be going for the Icy Wind. Icy Wind, we aren't able to land it, and here I do believe I made a bit of a misplay, at least on my end, is once I got the shield, typically I do like to bring in Ludicolo, as then I can one-shot with the Leaf Storm, but unfortunately I did bring in Blossom. We're not able to one-shot, and we are going to be forced to shield. Here I am going to overfarm rather significantly, reason being I want to leave with a Leaf Blade, because Leaf Blade will hit for heavy neutral damage on the Pelipper if it comes back in. Waiting for it. Will they bring in the Pelipper? Moment of truth. They do. And now this Leaf Blade will be doing a solid chunk of damage onto the Pelipper. Does get it very low. And they switch out, and they actually have Venusaur in the back, so it's not double charm after all. Leaf Blade doing double resisted damage. We bring in Ludicolo, and we have to get to the Ice Beam. We sneak the bubble. We have to live the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb, Ludicolo, thanks to those rank 25 IVs, surviving the Sludge Bomb. Fires back with the Ice Beam. The Ice Beam takes them out. Pelipper is very low. Pelipper decides to throw right away. Unfortunately, they do undercharge to get a little bit of extra farm. We bring in Mr. Rhyme, they throw, and now I should be able to kill in one Bullet Seed. So if we survive a wing attack, which we barely do, we're able to get the win. You love to see it. All right, hopping into the next match, we have Mr. Rhyme into Diggersby. Another pretty good lead, and they bring in Cresselia. And unfortunately, I don't have a great response to Cresselia. And when I don't have a great response, I will like to debuff it and then switch something in. As once we've lowered the attack, the Moonblast will hopefully hurt a lot less than they would have before. Moonblast does come through, and now we can pretty safely overfarm. We're built up to the back-to-back Leaf Blades, and we will be able to hopefully leave with some energy as well to threaten the Diggersby once we take out the Cresselia. So my thinking here is I will let this go, because they're going to have a tough time mud-shotting us down. We'll farm up to 2 Leaf Blades, and the opponent makes a very nice catch, taking advantage of the misaligned switch clocks, and they switch in Frostlass. Frostlass is a pretty difficult mon for our whole team, so I'm actually going to throw the double Leaf Blade, we force the shield, and now I bring in Ludicolo. These bubbles are chunking, so I have kind of a strange idea. I'm going to double shield and bubble all the way down because a Ludicolo with 100 energy should hopefully be very deadly in the end game. So I am going to commit the second shield, and we are going to commit to the farm down. Even if we go over energy cap, that's fine with me. I want to leave with 100 energy. They bring back in Cresselia, and here I make an error. I should have just gone for the Ice Beam. Ice Beam is enough to KO in this situation, but honestly, I just wanted to throw some Leaf Storms. We're going for another Leaf Storm. We are now 4 stages debuffed on the attack. They bring back in Diggersby. We are going to switch back into the Blossom, and they're forced to throw. We would have reached a Leaf Blade, and now we have reset the debuffs on our Ludicolo. We're going to bring back in Mr. Rhyme, and we should be able to survive a Fire Punch. That shouldn't be an issue. The opponent goes for the kill shot in Earthquake. Earthquake is slightly more efficient, but Mr. Rhyme holding on, gets off the Icy Wind. Icy Wind gets them very low. Mr. Rhyme Ice Shards down, and that is a good game. So all in all, I did have a ton of fun running this team. As I mentioned, I definitely lost more than I won with this team. It's definitely more of a team for fun than anything, but I had a lot of fun with it. And a big shout out to Jamie from Pallet. He has been running Mr. Rhyme for seasons and seasons now. And honestly, I tried it out, and you know what? I did have a lot of fun with it, so I see where you're coming from. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.